Hello and welcome to the Green Tech Pitch. The second session here at the One Initiative brings seven. Welcome to the Green Tech Pitch. The second session here. And we'd like to introduce to you today 7 companies that work with environmental solutions. And the One Initiative actually worked with this for quite some time. And I want to tell you a little bit about how we look at those activities. And I think this statement might say it all. So we have worked the last 4 years to look at this market in the Nordics. We've done a lot of analysis and reports. We have built some systems on how to mature companies, and we also help them matchmake with investors through our Nordic Impact Business Summit and also activities like this. And I'd like to get jumping into this directly. So the first company we'd like to present today is Clean Sea Solutions from Norway and Per Elvestuen. Welcome here, Per. Let's hear about your
company. Thank you for having me. I'm calling in from a hilltop in Norway to talk about the ocean. It's a bit odd, but I will do my best. Sharing my slides here. The Clean Sea Solutions was founded on the idea of finding commercially sustainable solutions for help reducing and preventing marine pollution, cleaning up waterfront areas. How do I move there? Yeah. So this is where we started in 2015. The UN has defined marine plastic pollution as the fastest growing problem or environmental problem in the world. We know that there's a truckload going into the ocean every minute. 80% of that is derived from activities on land. And we know that more than 94% sinks to the seabed after a time and then slowly are degenerating into microplastics and other problems. What we did was define a choke point where we have where we can be most effective, and we also have a clear ownership or a responsibility for the problem. And that was like canals, rivers, river mouths, harbors, marinas, and other waterfront areas with human activity. It's a limited area. We have at least a sort of an existing infrastructure. And it's where we can be most effective, taking up large quantities. We do believe that 5 years from now, every waterfront area with human activity, will have active cleaning systems for waters or a strong push to install such systems where you don't have regulations. There will be stakeholders that demand or support installations of such systems, and the public demand and will play a major role. And clean waters and environmentally friendly solutions will become, even more than today, a competitive advantage in an increasing number of business areas. We have defined a customer base, which is like the municipality segment, harbors, marinas, yacht clubs, hotel, resorts, waterfront, urban developers, and so on. The products we do have, we are in the pipeline with. This is the first. It's an aquadrone, which is built to clean up harbors and waterfront areas. It's autonomous. It's electric. We actually did the first test run yesterday, and it was impressed us, and we are looking very forward to have the first demonstration in Oslo in December. And we will have the official launch within the first quarter of 2021. It looks a bit different now, but it looks amazing, even more amazing. This is the other one. It's a floating dock for marinas. It has like a built-in cleaning system. This is something we have developed through this, or for a year or so. It's been challenging, but now we have a working prototype in Drammen, and this will be shown around many places around the Oslo fjord this summer. And we have also like high hopes for this one to make an impact and be a good business. The market, we are starting from Norway. And we have like the first pilot customers in Norway, and we will have the first early customers in Norway. But it is the Mediterranean region that we are looking at as our entry market, and we already have, we are working from Croatia as for now, and to be ready to move into the Mediterranean region already from next summer, actually. This is a 5 years financial projection that we do actually believe that we are going to make money on this, and I mean that was the purpose of it and the background for the idea. For the products we have joined up with established companies in Norway inside the oil and gas industry and maritime industry, where we have lots of know-how and good engineers. And so what we are doing now is building a sales organization globally. It's very exciting, the whole thing. So that's my short presentation for today. As I said, the starting point for this was environmental. My background is from waste management, from the waste management industry, among many other things, and environmental engagement in lifelong engagement into environmental issues. I didn't bring in the team here, but we have a teams of good people from various branches and in life, from business and economy, but also from the or like passionate ocean people. And we want to the purpose of the company, we want to make an impact, and we want to find ways to build a not only environmentally sustainable solutions, but also commercially sustainable solutions into a early market where we see early but growing markets, so to speak. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Per, for that. I think we'll go on to Karin Ebbinghaus in Sweden, who is CEO for Airline Road.
Yes.
Hi, Karin. How are you today?
I'm just fine. Sun is shining. It's Friday. Couldn't be better. How are you?
I'm fine too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for getting this opportunity. I'm Karin Ebbinghaus, CEO of Airline Road, and we're based in Lund. And I'm actually on the top of our factory. So if you hear any strange noises, it's because they are still building our road. So I will start presenting. Well, as you know, the levels of the CO2 emissions are the highest in 66 million years. And we are heading on a road to disaster, but we can actually make a U-turn if we take some measurements. If we, no, doesn't work to like this. At least here in Sweden, road transportation stands for 30% of our total CO2 emissions. And we need to reduce that heavily if we are to be able to meet the Paris Agreement. And the Swedish Traffic Authority are taking quite drastic measures to be able to meet that. And of course, as you know, electrification could be one solution, but it has its challenges also. Batteries, as we know, are also kind of an environmental hazard, and there are some lack of raw materials. And we can see that we have a quite immature charging infrastructure, and it slows us down. And we think we have a solution to this. We provide a conductive charging infrastructure that can target vehicles both while they are driving as well as when they are standing still. And we have developed a smart aluminium rail that could be installed either on top of the asphalt or submerged into it, which is perhaps more preferable for highways. And the system does not only charge, but it's also equipped with IoT sensors and softwares, so it can really help vehicles and drivers, either if they're in person or if it's artificial intelligence, to see around the corner. And why do we want to do that? We think that we are an enabler for electrification, and we could really be what fiber was for digitalization. And as you know, here in Scandinavia and Sweden, we have invested large in that infrastructure, and that has also had an effect. Just to give you a bit more in depth of how the solution or the product works. So our vehicles are equipped with a pickup and a radio antenna. And when it drives over the rail, it will send an encrypted radio signal so to be able to unlock the power distribution. And we can unlock the power in very short segments of 1 meter. And it's really that uniqueness that enables us to be able to charge both while you are standing still and when you drive. And we can transfer up to 300 kilowatt with 90% efficiency. So that means that we can supply enough power for a heavy load truck vehicle, both for driving, but also charging the batteries. So when it drives off the road, it has fully charged and can reach its final destination. Here, I'll just show you how nice and smooth it looks. So you can use it both while you are driving, as I said, but also more for your convenience as an automatic car charger. And I don't know how many of you have electrical vehicles, but perhaps the first 300 times when you use your cord for charging, it's fun. But the next 1,000 times, it's not so much fun. We want to be a new global standard for transportation of people and goods. And we don't need to sort of redesign everything, and we can use existing roads to do so. And by having a smart charging system, we know exactly which vehicles using an exact amount of energy. So we can send you a bill, so you don't have to worry about that. It's nothing for free. So the person investing in our infrastructure will be able to charge the end users. And the market, of course, there are plenty of roads in our society, and by 2030, I think more than 40% of all vehicles are estimated to be EVs. So it is a gigantic market. But I mean, we cannot just look at that. What can we do right here, right now? We have a few customer cases that we are working on at the moment. And we are building our first demo project here in Lund, actually, financed by the Swedish Traffic Authority, where we build 1 kilometer of bus line. And it will entail both a submerged version and an on-top version. And besides that, we are also in discussion with 2 different harbors to be able to electrify both straddle carriers and heavy trucks. And as you can see, of course, it's not a cheap investment, but it will have a quite quick payback because you will be able to decrease battery capacity and also the amount of vehicles. And so your total cost of ownership will actually be lower if you have this kind of infrastructure. And we see by using this, we can not only save our environment by being able to leave fossil fuels a thing of the past and go over to electrification, but we can also decrease the amount of batteries with up to 50 or 80%. And that is really the big societal gain, both from an economical and sustainability perspective. So it will have a huge CO2 effect. And that's why we are targeting not only heavy trucks, but all kinds of vehicles, because then it's the real effect you can get of reducing battery size over lifetime. And the team, we all have different backgrounds. Me, I'm an old lawyer and a former investor. Robert, we have met before in different capacities. But I was scouting for CO2 startups, and then I found this one and fell so completely in love with it, so not wanted to invest in it. I joined it as a CEO earlier this year, but it was founded by Dan Cetrius, who has been working most of his life within television and film, and actually causing almost a bomb threat in Copenhagen a few years ago when he was rebuilding his own car to be able to charge on the first prototype, and parked it in a big parking house in Copenhagen, and they thought it was a bomb, so the whole block was stopped. And but then he was thinking, I need to do this for real. So he teamed up with the university and started to build this road as we see now. And we of course want to save the world one road at a time. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Karin, for that introduction to Airline Road. And to all the listeners and viewers, I can say that all those pitches will be able to get afterwards through us and other channels. But I'd like to continue with Robert you're in Stockholm, Robert, right?
I'm down here in the same town as Karin, in Lund.
You're also in Lund, okay. But
yes.
Anyhow, very much welcome to you as well. And let's hear about Voltas.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So my name is Robert. I'm the founder and CEO of Voltas, and our mission is to eliminate waste in farming. So the big issue there that we see and that we're working with is the overuse of most chemical inputs. So you spread usually almost all inputs evenly across the field, and you usually sort of guesstimate how much you're going to spread each year. And this leads to a lot of input waste. So nitrogen, which we primarily work with, they're about 55% goes to waste worldwide. And this has really a lot of bad effects on the environment, but also for the grower, it means that they will get less yield and have higher costs. So how we address this and how we try to help with this problem is we provide precise satellite recommendations that integrate with existing machinery. And this means that the farmer can reduce how much fertilizer they use whilst retaining or increasing their yields. This means you can have input savings of about 20,000 euros for an average mid-sized farm per year, and means that you can have higher margins and yields on your production, which is really important for the crop farming. So a little bit how this works is that we measure different parameters about the field, so things like the moisture and the soil in the plant, the nitrogen uptake in the plant, as well as the soil organic carbon in the soil. And these different parameters, we have the models that can derive where you will need to apply more or less fertilizer to get the best result in your field. And this is then implemented into the equipment. So based on the positioning of the equipment, it automatically varies that output according to the recommendation. How is that we generally don't sell directly to the farmers, but we work with different types of local partners that help us distribute this in the markets and adapt it to the local needs. So we usually integrate with an API to different digital farming platforms, but we all have various types of dealers who basically have strong local presence, and this way we can have a very effective way to reach out to many farmers, which is very challenging since they usually live in the countryside and are not very digital. We also have some quite unique technologies in our stack. So one of them is microwave remote sensing, which is a type of satellite data that penetrates the clouds, which enables us to have data all throughout the year. And we can also measure some soil parameters, such as soil organic carbon with satellites, which is also a unique measurement that we have developed, which helps our accuracy a lot. In terms of our business model, so we charge the different services have different sort of sub-pricing, but everything, if you take all the services combined, it's about 10 euros per hectare per year. And we have about 500,000 hectares that are currently actively using our products, as a number that's growing quite rapidly in proportion with the amount of partners we have and how many integrations that we have with those partners. So the amount of integrations there has been growing quite rapidly. So we handle now about 50,000 data processing requests per month, and we're live on 9 platforms with no churn. We have several quite large platforms where we're just finishing trials with, as we're doing a lot of different trials, where we're likely to integrate with them in the next few months and quarters. In terms of the market, so we see precision agriculture becoming more and more of a standard practice over time. And we have currently pilots with about 19 million hectares, where that's kind of the near-term market that we're working towards and that we want to work through and capture. In terms of the competition, so we're definitely not alone in solving this problem, but I think kind of the thing that we're really focusing on is providing the full recommendations in a very scalable way. And there, what probably differentiates us most is that we give that full recommendation in a very cost-effective way compared to most of our competition that usually is a little bit more localized. So they usually have local sampling and have experts actually make these recommendations for the farmer. And that kind of structurally has much higher costs. And because we've focused so much on automation, that's something which enables us to have an edge in that area. In terms of our team, so we have a team of 18 people. So we have quite a diverse team, people from 9 different countries. And we have quite strong competencies, both in remote sensing and development and B2B sales. Where we want to go with this is that we want to reduce waste in farming and make farming very sustainable. Especially making nitrogen or using a lot less nitrogen in our production is really important for that and improves both the food and water quality associated with farming as well. And lastly, kind of where we want to go with this is that we want to kind of be the go-to infrastructure for this space. Being in this position and having all these integrations with all these different platforms all across the world enables us to have a lot of data and train our models to become better and better. Being in this kind of very central infrastructural position also allows us to address a lot of different other verticals. So things like food supply chain, crop commodities farming, and crop insurances. So with that, I'll leave it over and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Robert, for that introduction to Voltas. We hurry on to our fourth company, Nordic, and Keenan Pinto. Welcome aboard. Keenan, are you there?
Absolutely. I accidentally muted myself.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Keenan, the co-founder and CEO of Nordic. At Nordic, we build portable analytical tools for the agri-food industry. I'm going to bring up some slides, and I'm really glad that Robert went before me because he's primed you to think about agriculture, to think about all the problems that we have in this industry. And Rob and I, we sort of look at problems from different angles, one from space and one from the ground. And that's what I'm going to tell you about and what we do at Nordic. We build portable analytical systems that help you measure from the ground up how you could do better, whether that's from soil, leaf, or water. We can take you through the chemistry around that. So starting out with what Rob already said, we use a ton of fertilizer among other inputs, and you have software that helps you optimize how you do it. But if you go to any farmer, you go to any agronomist, you're going to ask them, how do they get some data? And they're going to say, well, we send that to the lab. And that process has not changed in the last several decades. You still take 15 days to go from soil to shipping to lab results and then a recommendation. And then again, you need to have an agronomist to do that with you. So what we did is we took that lab test, we shrunk it down into a tiny cartridge, it's about yay big, and we have a portable analytical tool that you can carry out with you into the field, into the greenhouse, or if you're a water testing agent, to the local water supply that you're testing. A key differentiator here is that we do not need to recalibrate for each geography. We can build a data model for water here in Denmark, and that data model is applicable all the way in the US where we're doing some testing. We typically measure nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium right now, and among other chemistries, we're looking into magnesium and sulfur. Key point being a deficiency of nitrogen looks very similar to a deficiency in magnesium. Much like Robert, we do not want to be another web platform. We're looking at APIing our unique data into other platforms so they can create value and drive sales for us. We are IP heavy company. We have IP on the microfluidic cartridges. the ion sensing polymers. We've also got new diagnostics coming through, and all of that's backed by a core computer vision platform that's currently in a box, but soon to be on a smartphone. The market we're looking at is the agricultural testing market, and we go, starting with fertilizers, we go wide. So we start with potato farm agronomists in Denmark. We've then landed on the eastern shore of the US with hemp farm agronomists in the US. And recently we have seen a spike in interest from greenhouse growers through a strategic partnership that's in the works. We're looking at the agricultural testing market at about 150 million globally that's addressable. But none of it's possible without an active team. Palak and myself founded this team in 2016, and we've brought on strong commercial competencies and advisors to back us up. We have a team of about 6 staff working full-time to get this product to market and in the hands of those users that need it. We've also been gaining traction. We've done about 55K in revenue from pilots and contracts, about 520 in pipeline. But interestingly, we have other corporates interested in doing projects with us to leverage the technology platform for other applications. Think allergens, think toxins, right? There's a lot of different things moving from pre-harvest to post-harvest that make this technology highly scalable. And we also have seen requests to use our sensors from our chips for other industries like the health and wellness business. We're currently raising to take us through from pilots through to mass manufacturing of that tiny consumable, which is a huge milestone for us, through to market launch in Denmark and the US for vertical farms, which is our first target customer, and then moving into soil-based farms through Q3 next year. Thank you for listening. I'm going to be in the Brella Arena, so come find me there, or you can also reach out to me at KPI, because we're always about those KPIs. But that's me, Keenan Pinto at norditech.com. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Keenan, for that. We're doing a break here now and meet soon 3 no other companies. I'd like to say thank you to Per and Karin and Robert and Keenan for this. And you can always follow us in a second or so for more companies, or you can find more information through the One Initiative and TechBBQ. So thanks for now, and we're taking a small break.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the first 4 pitching startups. Super interesting. We had Clean Sea Solutions, we have Airline Road, we had Voltas, and we have Nordic. I'm so amazed about how they bring forth these technological solutions, and they were calling in from all over the Nordics. It was really nice to have our neighboring countries joining us, and I was really amazed about how we had a very diverse 4 startups. We had both startups, Clean Sea Solutions covering the ocean. We had Airline Road covering the infrastructure and the automobile industry. We had Voltas covering agriculture and the farming, and we also had Nordic covering agri-food and also the agriculture. So it's really nice that we see these different startups within sustainability and tech covering different areas of our planet. And now we're ready for the last 3 startups to pitch. So over again to you, Richard. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the One Initiative session on startup and environmental solutions here on TechBBQ. We have another 3 companies coming up here, and we'd like to introduce them to you. There will unfortunately be no any Q&A in the end, but I'll tell you an address where you can download the pitch decks and how you can contact us and get introduced to the companies. But we'll go on with the next company, and that is Nobrainer and Barney. Hi, Barney. Welcome here.
Hi, Richard. Hi, nice to be here. Yeah, as you said, I'm Barney. I'm co-founder and CEO of Nobrainer.
Yeah, and let us hear your pitch here on the activities you work with Nobrainer.
Yes, of course. All right. So who we are? We are an impact solution for impact solutions. What does that really mean, though? Let me explain. Ensuring circularity is a difficult and complex task. especially with water due to its importance for humanity. The desalination industry is the perfect example of this, caring only about freshwater output and ignoring their waste discharge that destroys the marine life wherever it goes. And for every 100 liters of water harvested through desalination, 150 liters of hypersaline brine is released into the seas. To illustrate these amounts, this means that an average Dane would dump about 8 kilos of salt into the seas every single day due to their water consumption. We at Nobrainer focus on changing this by converting this toxic waste stream of brine into salt using spray evaporation technology that sprays this brine and crystallizes the salt particles midair. Once we have the salt, we create salt-based products that satisfies local as well as global market needs. And what might these products be? You might be asking. Did you know that actually 15% of total salt production is used for consumption? The rest is used to make detergents, cosmetics, and a lot of different products, not to mention potential applications in 3D printing, energy storage, and construction. But regardless of the use, several industries are or will be in dire need of sustainably sourced salt. And using our holistic approach to raw material production, we are able to satisfy this demand, enabling us to deliver a high impact on the environment, as well as sustaining ourselves on our own high profit margins. And this is the kind of combination for why we call our product Salt 2.0. Yeah, that was the short version of it.
Okay, so let's continue and meet another company from Denmark. It's Plantjammer and Michael.
Yeah, hello, Richard. This is Michael from Plantjammer, and we believe that the true sustainability can be happening from bottom up, meaning starting with you and your home kitchens. You see, I'm just going to share my screen here and talk a little bit more about that. So this is where our heroes lies, the factory called the home kitchen. And we want to empower people to change their food habits in this particular kitchen. That can be difficult because we all know coming home from work, no matter how ambitious we are about what we want to eat and how much we want to stop food waste and eat more plants, that when we click, zucchini salad recipe on Google and we get 1.5 million results, it's a bit of a jungle. And if you click the first ingredient there or dish there, it has basil and pine nuts, which you might not have. Next one's got broad beans, which you might not know what is. And by this time, you basically give up and make spaghetti bolognese once again. And then we haven't changed our food habits. So we think we can do something better than Google. And it works somewhat like this. You're typing in your ingredients. We are using our neural networks to understand which kind of dishes can you make with these exact ingredients, but also what would it take to make it even more delicious? And then you're picking ingredients that are suggested, clicking next to getting a recipe based on exactly your choice of ingredients. So no broad beans or pine nuts in there. So that's what's working right now and where we're growing fast. The dynamic recipes are modular, so you can do anything with them, make them low carb and exchange out ingredients. It's growing quite fast for us, which is amazing. And the technology behind this whole endeavor is AI. So first of all, we did a neural network on food pairing, so we know what ingredients go well together based on past recipes. We make dynamic recipes out of that, where you can talk to the recipe and tell it to be without cilantro or protein rich, and it will adapt. We adapted the volumes with that in our volumes model so that you have a right balance diet wise as well as taste wise. And then we're also using a Netflix-like recommender system to make sure you get the right recipe for you on that very day. So that's what's going on in our technology. What we're doing now is actually packaging that technology into an API that supplies retailers, brands, recipe apps, other kitchen equipment players on their websites and apps. So we have these kind of customers already and are adding another one to the batch every week. And the idea of this is that yes, it's good to create an app where you can have a few million active users over time. But if you want to touch 1 billion people, you need to be accessible on all kinds of platforms, apps, and sites. And that's why we put our technology into an API accessible for the world, so we can impact the way 1 billion people eat. Thank you. I think you're on mute, Richard.
So thanks a lot for that, Michael, and thanks for help with the technology over here. So let's go over to the last company we have today. It's Bertrand from TechBBQ in Sweden. Please go ahead, Bertrand.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. I'm not really sure I can share my screen. I can't find a solution for that. Okay. I can't. But anyway, I can introduce you to TechBBQ.
You are able to share your screen, Bertrand. Please try again.
Yes, I am. Yeah, sorry for this hiccup. Yeah, I wanted to start with a very beautiful picture because some people like to look at fireplace. I like to look at our beautiful planet. Still, it's unfortunately this picture is changing. It's not enough now. We are consuming too much resources and waste too fast. We would need 1.6 Earth equivalent resources to sustain our lifestyles, which are dramatically changed. If you look at the end of this series of figures you see in 2020, it has changed a bit because of Corona. As soon as we are a bit more resource savvy, things can improve. And this is exactly what TechBBQ wants to do. We use already existing resources, namely residual food streams that we feed our insects with to upcycle this biomass into high quality protein products and also plant nutrition. So we do that because it's quite efficient. It's the same quality as beef. In terms of amino acid profile, the protein is the same quality, but it comes with only a fraction of the climate price tag. We have 3 different segments: plant nutrition, animal nutrition, and human nutrition. For each of the segments, we are already on a good track. We are selling our fertilizer. We have a full order book for the animal nutrition, the feed segment, and we are doing a pilot with Tetra Pak for the human nutrition segment. Does that mean that we want you to try a bug burger at home tonight? Not really sure. That's completely up to you. But this is something else that we want to do. We don't want to just push a niche product on the market. What we wanted to do at the inception of TechBBQ was to solve a challenge: how to make the insect invisible but keep the fantastic properties of the insect protein. We've done 2 years of R&D with the Swedish University for Agriculture, and now we have the most advanced protein extraction process in the world. We can deliver 88% rich protein powder that is plug-and-play protein for the food manufacturing industry. So does that mean again that we are going to push for the bug burger? No, we are an impact company. What we want to do is to substitute the products and the applications that do too much harm for our planet and demand too much resources, and to be a true alternative on the 3 segments that we have. So this comes with really great benefits and high usability. What makes us unique, as I was saying, we are the only insect protein company that can offer a true alternative on the food segment. That's where the margin sweet spot is, and that multiplies the climate impact. It's a gigantic market, and this is exactly what TechBBQ can help with. When we make the insect invisible, acceptance is going up. We have the right team, right competence. This I can touch much more on if you contact me later on. And I also enlighten you on the use of funds, why we are raising 0.8 million euros. Come to us and we'll look at this beautiful picture together. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Bertrand. It seems like the technology for TechBBQ is not right there. So can you make me a host back, on the upper right with participants, and I can show the audience the last slide here on where to access. So if you look at the bottom down, it says participants, and then you make me a host up on my name.
Okay.
If possible. But I wanted to say to all of you, thanks a lot for being here with us. It's possible to get access to those companies through the One Initiative and our website. You can also find it in the program, in the Brella app you're looking at for TechBBQ. So in the program, there is actually an opportunity to download all the slides from the different companies here. So with that, I'd like to say thanks a lot, and please reach out to us if you're interested, and because we can pursue with more companies like this for the future. Also want to say thank you to Barney and Michael and Bertrand, obviously, to be here today and share their work with us. So have a good day out there. Bye-bye.